So Kamala Harris, there's a video put together of her speeches where she talks about the difference between equity and equality. Now, equity is this new age word that seems to be infecting the woke left, and let's listen to what she says about it.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more. Equitable
So everybody should end up in the same place. That's what I just heard her say. Here we go.
distribution. Giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. So there's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests often everybody should get the same thing. Well, that often assumes everybody started out in the same place, as opposed to equity, which is everyone should end up in the same place.
So some folks didn't start out in the same place, but everybody should end up in the same place? Is she talking about mass illegal immigration? What is she talking about? Great idea, by the way. Go all in on this woke equity stuff. It's not like only small pockets of pear-shaped crazy people with clown hair and laptop jobs are the last idiots on earth who still enjoy this message. What equity hire is running the campaign for this equity hire? She's got more to say.
And if you then understand not everybody started out in the same place, you understand some people need more. So we all end up in the same place, right? We are proud of the fact that equity is one of our guiding principles. Proud of the fact that we understand equality is important, but not everybody starts out on the same base. We see that people in our country are having an experience that is not equal. So when we talk about the work we are doing here together, it is recognizing that and being guided by this principle of what we must do in the spirit and in the interest of equity. To put equity firmly at the center of our economic policy. But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners.
So Kamala Harris is giving such a rehearsed live acting performance over and over in that video that she's going to have to join Actors Equity, ironically enough. Am I right? Come on. That's a joke for the ladies in the room here. So what does equity mean? Well, equity means everyone is provided with resources specific to their needs to be successful. Equality, on the other hand, means everyone is treated the same exact way, regardless of a person's needs or other individual differences. I thought in practice, equality meant equal protection under the law. So these are... Who wrote this? Was written by the Air Force. I guess they believe in IQ equity. I don't... So, does this mean that all the people whose lives she's ruined by throwing them in prison for small amounts of drugs will get a fair and equal break now? Is that what that means? So here's a cartoon that shows you the difference. So this is equality. This is equity. No, so how could you? So you wouldn't be against that? I mean, that I don't think that's actually. Look, Kamala. Everybody gets to wave to their family in prison. Isn't that nice? So I guess equity means that when you start out as a privileged Southeast Asian Indian DA, and then suppress evidence to keep thousands of mostly Black and brown people locked up or executed for slave labor, you can end up as the first strong Black woman president who fights for freedom. Is that what that means? Oh, I get it now. So equity is just communism, but without the healthcare and free college. Is that what you're saying? Just the parts that unambiguously, historically sucked about communism. The personality cults, the lockstep herd mentality, the gulags, but still no healthcare and free college, right? Or a living wage. Here's another one. Equity versus equality. So first of all, it looks like this means child labor.
Right. Even children get to work.
You can't have, so to me it looks like they think equity means equality of outcomes, right? I thought we already got rid of this idea, but we haven't. We're all for helping, helping people who need more help, right? That's why you give economic scholarships to people from economically disadvantaged backgrounds, things like that. I say we invest more in the communities that we've over-policed. The Joe Biden's crime bill that Kamala Harris is proud to be a part of. The people that they locked up, like you try to help those communities, the communities that we took the fathers out of their families because of Joe Biden's crime bill and because of stuff like what Kamala Harris did. We try to help those communities more. I'm for that. Is that what they mean by equity? But I don't think that she means equality of outcome. I'm for you want to put like economic development. You want to help give need where it's needed the most. A big argument against free college is, well, now rich people will get to go to college for free too. Rich people are going to go to private college. Okay. And if you're rich and you want to go to public college, I think we can handle it. So we're denying college to all these poor people because a rich person might go too? That's stupid. But that's you help them get the education. You can't then guarantee them an equal job of equity. That's what I hear when I hear equity. Okay, what do you think, Steph?
Oh, they're just empty platitudes. I mean, this whole thing that all of a sudden, I didn't even understand the first picture that equity and equality.
This?
So yeah, so is the second? What's the first slide? Is the first slide equity or is the first slide equality?
So I think this is.
I mean,
equity versus equality.
Yeah, so equity would be the first slide.
So is this? No, I think this is equity.
So it's a horrible title.
I don't know
for it.
This is the inclusion solution, they say.
Yeah, well, you can be inclusive, but first it's still funny that they don't get seats. Like they don't even show them in the bleachers, right? Equality. They're like cheating to see over the the
so
fence.
I think so. If you look, if you give everybody a box, that's equality. But it kind of doesn't help this person, right? So this would be equity. That's what this cartoon says. I think this is a bad cartoon.
It's a bad cartoon, and the titling of it is wrong. Because if I'm
right.
looking at it logically, the first slide is equity, the second slide is equality.
Right. So they have it flipped.
Yeah. So I would fire the person who created this.
It was probably an equity hire.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, over to Steph.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. Here we go. Dirk says, communism does not allow for personal enrichment. All gains go to the state to be redistributed at a loss to the contributors.
Is that what happens in China?
I know that's what
That's not what's happening in China.
I know. So I think
a lot of millionaires, there's even to a billionaire who runs Alibaba.
Yeah, and Alibaba is run by, I guess, has 2 owners. So I didn't check out what TSAI is. Do you pronounce it Sai? I don't know what that other owner is worth. As T. Stark once said, not a great plan. Dirk, thank you, Dirk. Hinkle is pro-freedom of speech like Stalin until him or his party is criticized. Read a history book, bro. This experiment has been run many times. Jack Perry. Mechanization is the great evil of the West. Someone notable can't remember. SS. DC,
so
thank you, DC. Back to Jim.
My gay friend says equality is the same standards for all the Secret Service people. Equity is making the test easier for women to pass the physical exam. So could you include that in the video, what I just said? So let me read it again. Equality is the same standard for all the Secret Service people. Equity is making the test easier for women to pass the physical exam. That's how it really works out. Okay, back over to Steph.
All right, thank you. Risto says, come on, Jackson. What about the LGBTQZIMNO to get all right, look at you. I'm not gonna read the rest. Okay, it's just too much. It slides. All right. Hey, SS, mechanization and fascism and authoritarianism force are related. It's all about manipulation, exploitation, use and abuse of life forms at ever faster rates. America used, and that was SS. Sean says America used to have strong communist party. The only way to free us from totalitarian capitalist dictatorships is a militant Marxist Leninist econ. Wow. Sparky, you're back. Have Danny Haifong on. He's been to China recently. Can back up what Jackson says. Much appreciated for the reminder, Sparky. Nah, good luck, Jackson. I wish for it to work, but it's a long shot, son. Ristos. Luis de la Cruz. Thank you, Luis de la Cruz. Epstein will files should be public. He was tried and convicted. The investigation should be FOIA. They are all other criminals. They are for all other criminals. Tana, to all of you anti-communism people, the government, thank you for sticking with their CIA propaganda talking points all these years. It's a better model than capitalism. Look at you, Leslie, coming in. All the diff probs of our society have in common that they're characteristic of all civilization and only civilizations. We've been sold lie civilizations. Good for us. SS. Okay, hold on. I got to get this one. Now would be a great time to have Z Van Fleet back on or James Lindsay to revisit the relationship of DEI to communism. Mediocre. Thank you, mediocre. Little Wisdom. Thank you, Little Wisdom. Right. Thank you, Goo81. Equity gives you tools to succeed, and equality allows you to be treated the same regardless of race, gender, creed, etc. It's the equality of outcomes that becomes the issue. Communism, anyone? You're sold out. Thank you for that. You're sold out. Sound of Freedom is not a Christian movie. Catholicism is not Christianity. Also, yesterday was my birthday. 32 years young. Stiff Richie. Oh, really? The idea of individualized separate success is a very unnatural. Humans are evolved for cooperation and egalitarianism, i.e. we succeed together, or it's not really success. Our society is too unnatural. Wow, Hannah, sir, thank you for that insight. Much appreciated. Stiff Richie, gotcha.
Can you come back to me?
Back to Jim.